Yes, guys, welcome back to AGTV. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. Gabriel Magalhães has won Player of the Month at Arsenal, and he has been nominated for among the best players in January for the Premier League. Mikel Arteta has been nominated as well among the best managers in January as well. There was not a lot of action in that month, but of course we'll be diving into that story. Takehiro Tomiyasu as well is back in the squad after Japan were knocked out of the Asian Cup, and according to SR Collins, Tomiyasu might play for Arsenal on Sunday against West Ham. Jakub Kiwior is one of the players that are looking for a summer exit at Arsenal. Serie A clubs are really interested, and Arsenal have lined up a possible replacement in Jarell Hato at Ajax. And of course, we'll be talking about Nico Williams. Arsenal are scouting him, and we are scouting a couple of wingers as well in the summer. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know in the comment box below what you think about Jakub Kiwior's situation at Arsenal. He's one of the players I really like. He's one of those players that when he comes onto the pitch, he can actually do a good job. Now, I don't think he is exceptional, like the likes of Julian Timber, like the likes of William Saliba, but he does the job and he's absolutely okay in my opinion. Should Arsenal sell him? Should we actually keep him for another season and see how that goes? And what are your feelings on Gabriel Magalhães winning Player of the Month at Arsenal and being nominated for Player of the Month for the whole of the Premier League in January as well? Okay, let's get into it. Let's start off with that big story right there from Arsenal.com. Gabriel Magalhães is our Player of the Month, and you cannot believe it, and I cannot believe it as well. This guy started off the season on the bench. Thomas Partey had actually thrown him out of the starting 11, and we all were asking questions about his absence, and we all talked to Mikel Arteta, and we said, listen, you can do whatever you can, but Gabriel Magalhães and William Saliba, that is the defensive partnership that is going to take Arsenal all the way this campaign. And you can bear me witness, the difference between Arsenal and all these other clubs in the Premier League right now is not that we are scoring many goals because we are not. It is that we are conceding less goals because we are. Our defense is very, very good. I think Gabriel Magalhães, he's been top this season. January, absolutely fantastic. Scoring 2 goals against Crystal Palace to help us on a 5-win win against Palace. That was absolutely crazy. But for me, the whole of the season, he has been better than William Saliba. He's been the better centre-back, and he's been the better defender of all the back four. And many people will not actually want to hear this. Many people will not actually want to accept this because they love Saliba and they have a Gabriel agenda, or they have a pro-Saliba agenda, in their hearts and their minds. But for me, I do not have an agenda. If a player is not good enough, I will criticize them. And if a player does well, I'll give them the flowers. So for me, Gabriel Magalhães, Player of the Month at Arsenal, well deserved. I don't think there was a player that came close to Gabriel. Not Saliba, not Ben White, not even Declan Rice, in my opinion. For me, for January, there was one player that was going to win that award, and that was Gabriel Magalhães. And one thing I've seen from him this season that we have not seen from him the last 2 campaigns: consistency. He's consistently performing well, and the stupid decisions that he makes as a player, kicking players in the stomach, or dragging players down, or shouting at referees, or shouting at opponents. Those are things that we have not seen this campaign. He's kind of cleared them out, and he's become a much better centre-back. His game is better. His level of concentration is better. The leadership is there now. You can see there is an age difference between him and Saliba now. And Saliba not being the older one, but Saliba being the younger one. I love this guy. I really do. And ever since he started playing for Brazil, he's become a completely different centre-back. This guy, I don't think he's in the levels of Bastoni levels. I don't think he's there, but he is in his own level, and I love his level, right? He's the most scoring centre-back, highest scoring centre-back ever since he came into the Premier League. So that speaks volumes about what a player is and what we have at Arsenal right about now. So Gabriel wins it, Player of the Month at Arsenal. He's also been nominated for Player of the Month by the Premier League, alongside a couple of other players, and so has Mikel Arteta. Listen, there was not a lot of action in January, but I would give it to Gabriel. I've just placed my vote on who my Player of the Month January is in the whole of the Premier League, and I've just given it to Gabriel. For me, outstanding. Really, really outstanding. It's high time we start rewarding our center backs. It's high time we start rewarding the players that actually make sure that we don't concede goals. And for me, Gabriel must win it. He is the guy. Mikel Arteta, does he deserve to win Manager of the Month January? How many times did we play in January? Not very many times. But if he wins it, I don't have a problem. I've already voted for Mikel Arteta Manager of the Month as well. He's my manager. But if anyone wins it as well, I wouldn't really care. I don't care about Manager of the Month, but I do care about Player of the Month. I always want an Arsenal player to win Player of the Month, because that means that in the previous month, you have done well as a player, but also as a club. And you want Arsenal to do well all the time. Now, Takehiro Tomiyasu is back in the Arsenal squad after Japan were knocked out of the after Japan were knocked out of the Asian Cup. Now, not very good news for the Japanese, and of course Takehiro Tomiyasu as well. But SR Collins says Tomiyasu is back with Arsenal and could feature against West Ham on Sunday. There is a piece there on the Standard, in the Evening Standard, if you want to read it, on why Takehiro Tomiyasu coming back right now is a very, very good time. Now, I don't think he will play on Sunday. It will come a little bit too early for me and for him as well. I think Mikel Arteta, by now we all know Mikel Arteta. He will not play a player as early as that. I don't think he's the kind of guy that goes, well, we are panicking, we need to play you despite the fact that you're coming from the Asian Cup. He will give him some time to rest, probably a week or two. And now there is the UEFA Champions League. He wants to make sure that his players are playing well-distributed football, and they're also having well-distributed minutes as well. But with Takehiro Tomiyasu coming back against West Ham, that gives us a major, massive boost, especially as we take on one of the most dangerous sides on the flanks, and especially Jarrod Bowen. So Tomiyasu against Jarrod Bowen, I'm listening. I'm really listening. Let's play him there. He's one of the players I would really love to see on the pitch on Sunday. But him coming back, even if he doesn't play, it makes Arsenal much better, much stronger. It gives us an added advantage when it comes to squad depth against the likes of Man City, maybe Liverpool, maybe Aston Villa, and all these other clubs that are trying to get into the top four, but are not trying to win the title. Okay, so Takehiro Tomiyasu is back. They didn't win the Asian Cup. I thought South Korea or Japan would actually win the Asian Cup. None of them have actually managed to do that. But of course, that is none of my business. Now, I want to say this because it's also a big story in football. The international, footballing body that governs football is trying to introduce a blue card to football matches, and the blue card is going to be a card that suspends players for 10 minutes in a game. So, for instance, if a player brings on a nasty foul, if a player actually shows dissent to a referee, they can be sidelined. They can be given a blue card, which can actually mean that they will be out of action for 10 minutes in that particular game. I want your thoughts about the blue card. I'm not really happy with it, but I'm also not 100% against it, because I've seen games where, especially Arsenal, especially these small teams, can win a game, but because of one red card, or because of a red card that was cynical in my opinion, or that was unjustified in my opinion, a team goes on to lose the game. So we have the blue card debate. I mean, everyone has said it is a disgrace. It is unlike football, of course. It's not the football we know. It's not the kind of football we've grown up watching. Blue cards, players suspended on the bench for 10 minutes. You're playing 10 men, you're playing with 10 men down, because one guy is on the bench and has been suspended. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but let me know what you think about the blue card, because it's being introduced in football, and it will be, it will be tested very, very soon. Now, in terms of transfers, Arsenal looking at Nico Williams, and according to John Cross from the Mirror, he says Arsenal scouts have been making checks on Atletico Bilbao's winger Nico Williams. So he also says that Arsenal are trying to sign a winger in the transfer market, and says the Gunners have got a winger in their transfer market priority list as they look to strengthen in the summer. So you can find that story on the Mirror from John Cross. Okay, so I think Arsenal do need a winger. There's no question about that. We've talked about it before. This is the third season running that we are talking about Arsenal signing a winger to back up Saka, a winger to share minutes with Saka, a winger to bring in competition for Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, but also for me, a winger that can actually do stuff. Now, Nico Williams is more like Bukayo Saka, the way he plays and what he likes to do on the ball. I would love Arsenal to sign a winger in the profile of Mohamed Salah. Very good when it comes to wide areas, can beat a player 1v1, is very good in wide spaces, very good in tight spaces, but I want a goal scorer. I want a goal machine. Now, when it comes to players like that, like Mo Salah, like Sadio Mane, they're not easy to get. But I think that's why we have a scouting network. That is why we take a lot of time deciding who to sign, why we want to sign a player and all that. I would want an element of goals in the next Arsenal player. Whether that's a striker, whether that's a winger, whether that's a midfielder, I would love to see goals. I would love to see someone, a signing, that is actually screaming goals, goals, goals. So Nico Williams, I like him. He's electric, like really electric. And of course, he comes from Spain, and I'm a big Spain national team fan. So come on, bro, come on. Well, you're welcome to Arsenal, but I still want a different profile, okay? I still want something different. Nico Williams has a couple of advantages if he signs. If Arsenal sign Nico Williams, there are a couple of advantages. Number one, I think he's a young player and he's got a lot to offer, right? A lot to learn, a lot to offer. He's going to be an edgemate to Bukayo Saka, but he's got so many different things that Saka doesn't have. He's got so many abilities that Saka doesn't have. I think Saka is predictable. Very good at what he does, but very predictable. Nico Williams, on the other hand, he's more like Lamine Yamal at Barcelona. They are absolutely electric, but very unpredictable. Top speed, top quality, top skill, top tactics. That is what I rank Nico Williams at. Now, I think Bilbao will be willing to sell in the summer. Last summer, they didn't want to sell. January, they were not listening to offers. So probably this summer, they will be willing to sell. They'll be willing to listen to a couple of offers. And I think it's a signing that Arsenal can actually really seriously look at. 40 million, 45 million, you can get that deal done. And you've got yourself one of the players that can not only play on the left wing and the right wing as well, but a player who can actually, revolutionize our wings, right? He is a potential threat to the England national team supporters, especially who love Saka, because I think he's better than Saka. If you give him the game time and if you give him the nurturing that Saka has got, he can be better than Saka. So if he comes in and he does better than Saka, is he going to start ahead of Saka? Most probably, right? But I would love to see him at Arsenal. He's one of the players that I really, really love when it comes to Spain and young talents, especially the wingers. We have a lot of wingers in Spain, and I think now we have Yamal at Barcelona. Now we have, the young boy at Bilbao and Villarreal. Okay, Yeremy Pino. You have Yeremy Pino, you have Nico Williams, you have Lamine Yamal, you have this RB Leipzig boy who is absolutely sensational as well. And I don't know why Arsenal have not actually looked at him. So Spain has a lot of wingers. I pray that we sign the right one. Now, Jakub Kiwior could be on his way out of Arsenal in the summer. Now, a couple of clubs are interested, and Arsenal could be willing to listen to a couple of offers, as we have already lined up a potential replacement, and that potential replacement to Jakub Kiwior is Jarrell Hartel at Ajax. Now, we've been interested in Jarrell Hartel. There's no question about that. I think with Jakub Kiwior, we might be getting it wrong. After seeing him against Liverpool, I can only wonder, what if we gave him some time? What if we played him in his best position? What if? But of course, that will depend on Mikel Arteta. A couple of clubs are interested in Kiwior, and Arsenal think the guy to replace him could be Jarrell Hartel, right? I just want to give Jarrell Hartel a new deal. At the moment, they have not successfully managed to, and that means that if they don't do it, if they don't manage to do it before the end of the campaign, Arsenal can swoop in, sign Jarrell Hartel, and maybe let go of Jakub Kiwior. But I like Kiwior. I think he's a progressive player. I think he will become better and better and better. But if the manager doesn't see him in that light, then we've got to sell. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you right in the next one.